I've been MIA. I've been missing in action. But I'm back. I suffered a mild case of burnout. Tonsillitis, the body was run down. Remember, I've been doing this for the last 4 months. 4:30 starts, 4:45 starts, 12, 1 o'clock bedtimes. Took its toll on me, man. I caught a mild case of tonsillitis. I felt fatigued. I had to admit myself into A&E. That's how bad it was. I was swallowing razor blades, literally. That's what it felt like. I was swallowing razor blades. So I've gone to A&E and I've been diagnosed with a mild case of tonsillitis. Now, this doctor told me that this case was mild. And I kid you not, I wanted to look at him. I wanted to give him the stare and ask him, if this is mild, what does severe feel like? Because it did not feel mild. It felt horrible. Honestly, I had to brace myself to swallow my own saliva. I had to brace myself to swallow food. So it was the 2nd of May is when I actually went to A&E. So that was a Saturday. So throughout the week, I think it started from like a Wednesday. I felt a little something in my throat. I was like, what is that? Didn't really think nothing of it, you know? I did think infection, but I thought maybe, mild case of just swollen glands. Maybe my body's tried to fight something off. Now we've got to Thursday, it's getting worse. Friday, I'm like, nah, this is not normal. Saturday, me and my missus having a conversation, laughing, joking. And I'm like, no, this is painful. I'm laughing with you and I'm feeling pain in my throat. I said, nah, I gotta go A&E. So I admitted myself in, man. The last time I went to a hospital was when I took a trip and I fractured my knee. I fell awkwardly and I fractured one of my knees. I've actually got 2 fractures. One where I fell off a bike and then this one where I slipped on my knee. And that was years ago. Probably about 7 years ago was the last time I actually went to hospital. But yeah, I had to admit myself in. But what I will say is, social media, it's not easy to stay consistent. Like, I've been off for a week. I didn't record anything last week. I was fortunate enough to have some content that I was able to repurpose. There was some content that I wanted to throw some new thumbnails on because I didn't like the thumbnail. So I did a bit of that last week. It was a lot of shorts that I put out last week. I didn't put out any long form. No, I didn't put out any long form. I just repurposed some of my older content where I thought, you know what, the thumbnails could do with a change. Let me see if I could revamp them. So I revamped and put out a lot of short form. But what it did also allow me to do, this episode of fatigue, tonsillitis, is that I did put out a couple of shorter form content, like reaction videos. And it opened up a new world because they actually did well. I've got one on TikTok that's done 12K. And Instagram, I find Instagram the hardest to break through on. I've got one on Instagram that has done 5K and it's still climbing. So it's opened me up to a new world of content, which I am going to concentrate more on, the shorter form, reaction type videos. So there was a blessing in it. The doctor told me to take the paracetamol and ibuprofen for a couple of days to see if it would die down. It died down. But then all of a sudden now, 10 days later, I feel like it's creeping back in. So I'm going to take the antibiotics. I'm going to start taking the antibiotics. I'm not a fan of antibiotics. They do actually strip your immune system. They're not great. It's really weird because in one hand, they're good because they help to fight the infection. But on the other hand, it's like they strip your immune system. So I'm going to take them because I don't want to get back to the stage where I feel like I'm swallowing razor blades. And that's how it's starting to feel again. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. Burnout. A blessing came from it. I found a new avenue of content that I'm going to go down. Oh yeah, black coffee. And I had another one. Black coffee was another bit of short form that I used. Black Coffee Theory, it was called. Put that one out. That done really well on TikTok. So there was a blessing in the fatigue. There was a blessing in the burnout. Something came from it. I'm gonna dumb it down on those. But yeah, man, it was a difficult week last week. Difficult week. And I'm hoping that it just doesn't try to creep back into this week, because I feel it yesterday creeping back in. So last night, before I hit the sacker, I took two antibiotics. Yeah, social media is not easy. It looks it. It does look it. And, you know, with the help of AI softwares, it has made it easier. But you still have that element of manual. You still have to show up. Unless you're using clones, you still have to show up. And it did cross my mind, but I feel like the clone just takes away, it takes away that human element, man. And people want that human touch, that human feel. People want to know that they're dealing with a human. I thought about it. I thought about even doing it last week. I thought, should I just put together a clone and throw out content? But nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it as natural as possible, man, for as long as possible. But yeah, guys, this ain't easy. It ain't easy. You know, you are going to come across burnout at some stage. Some handle it better than others. It took me out, honestly. You know, swallowing, speaking was an issue. So I had to take some time out. But I'm steady. I'm coming back steady. You're probably going to get a couple of videos from me this week. I put out one on Monday, a reaction video. I want to start hitting up the reactions more. You know, start putting out stuff that, you know, I'm into, things that I would watch, things that I find interesting. Like, I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist, so I put out a bit of something on a bit of conspiracy. I think I'm going to tap into that a lot. And a lot of these reactions where I get the audience involved, my audience, random audiences involved, you know, to maybe answer a question, to maybe figure something out. I find that worked. That's the one that I put out on Instagram. I find that worked. So yeah, I'm coming back slowly, guys, man. A couple of videos this week. You'll get a couple next week. I'm hoping to be back next week, to be fair. I'm hoping that by the weekend, I'm fully back. These antibiotics have kicked in. And I can get back to my 6 to 7 long forms a week. But if not, it will be another couple and I'll just come back in slowly. But I'm back. I was burnt out, but I'm recovering, man, slowly. But guys, glad you could join me, and I'll catch you on the next one. It's just a paper boy.